Hey there, Emmanuel here from WebDevFuel, and in this video I want to talk about why having good tooling when it comes to programming is actually one of the biggest advantages that you can have when it comes to using AI coding agents. And the core idea here is that AI is good for tooling and tooling is good for AI. And this creates a powerful feedback loop for developers who embrace both. So if you are already programming, and if you already have some kind of experience when it comes to development, whether that's web development or programming in general, you might already have built your own tools to help you with your with your problems. So for example, if you encounter something inside the code base and you see that you are like manually doing something over and over again, or if you want to test something in a very specific way where like current testing frameworks don't really help you, then you might go towards the solution of building your own tooling, and that is a great thing. So myself included, I really like to use NeoVim, to use the terminal, to configure my editor, and to configure everything when it comes to my tooling, not only when it comes to like my editor, like I said, but also the tools that I have around my developer environment. So the reason that I'm saying this is because if you already have those tendencies and if you already like doing those things, then you have a huge advantage when it comes to AI programming, especially with AI coding agents. And the reason for this is because it sort of creates like an infinite loop or a virtuous cycle where you're able to basically build programming tooling for yourself to improve the results that you get from AI. And then you can also use AI coding agents to build those tools also, which sort of creates this like infinite cycle that helps you like refine your tools and have like very specific tools. So if we take a look here, AI is good for tooling because it allows us to have faster development. AI agents can build dev tools rapidly without you having to be doing that manually yourself. There is a very low barrier to entry, so you don't need to be a tooling expert or understand exactly how those things work in depth. There's also a rapid iteration, so quick prototyping and refinement. Uh, and there's also the pattern recognition that AI understands common tooling patterns. So if you need to build something from a language, or rather, if you want to build something in a language that is not really that popular, then AI can still help you because it sort of understands these patterns of building tooling. So the result is that more developers can create the tools they need. And my experience with this has been that the fact that tooling sort of has like a very narrow surface area, it means that the AI coding agents are very like they're very productive when it comes to building them, because usually these tools are not like a very big project. They do one specific thing and they do it very well, since most tools that we use as developers, and I'm saying this when mentioning the fact that we build them ourselves, usually have a very narrow scope. So this leads to a like just a very good position to be in when coding with AI coding agents. So like this says, also tooling is good for AI. So not only is AI good at building tools, but tooling is also something that like helps AI um, succeed much more when it comes to building projects. So it has, first of all, better context. Good tools provides cleaner, more structured environments. Uh, it reduces complexity. Well-designed tools simplify the problem space, which means that if you have like a good tool, a good tooling system for things like, for example, testing your assumptions, also like let's say scaffolding projects, stuff like that, it will help the AI go much faster and with much more accuracy. So for example, if you start a new project from scratch and you tell the AI, okay, I want to implement all of these files, all of these directories, and I want you to implement the project with this structure, that might be helpful if you are building something that is different than what you usually build. But if you want to build something like, let's say you have a pattern of, for example, you build websites with Next.js, you can simply have your templates and just give those templates commands to the AI, and then the AI will know, okay, so this is the things that we are using for styling in the project, this is the structure of the components, and then the AI can go from there. So again, having good tools increases the success of the AI coding agents. We also have clearer interfaces because the tools with good APIs um, are easier for AI to understand. So if we have like our tooling very well organized and well built, then that makes the job of the AI much faster, and also faster feedback loops, because good tooling means quicker iteration with AI. And it means that the AI can check things as it builds them without having to check with yourself manually, and you going into the terminal and doing stuff and checking if it works or not. So the result is the AI becomes more effective and reliable. And we also have, like I said previously, the surface area advantage, which is the smaller surface area means equals a better AI results. So if we're talking about AI building a project with, let's say, 50,000 lines or 100,000 lines, then that might become a little bit more complex for the AI, and you need to manage it a little bit more, or actually, if we're talking about tooling, maybe even build better tools to help it organize that complexity. But for tools, usually the scope is very narrow. It is something very simple that you already know. Okay, I have this thing that I want to automate. And so I can just ask the AI to do that, check it, and let it do its thing while I'm working on something else. And instead of you having to stop during the day, which happened to me quite a lot, I was like doing something manually. I'm noticing that I'm doing this over and over again. And I think, okay, I can build like a tool for myself, a CLI, or a integration with new Vim, something like that, to sort of help me move a little bit faster. Now, instead of me having to do that, I can just ask the AI, and like I said, most times it just knows what to do with that, because the surface area is very narrow, so it's not really a very complex project usually. The requirements are also clearer, and the constraints are also clearer. So we get, because of this, a higher success rate for AI generated solutions. So build small focus tools that do one thing well. So this is the idea here, is that if you build like small tools that then can like integrate with each other, or maybe even have like a pipeline of tools, and I'm going to explain to you in just a second what I mean by that. But if you build small, it makes the job of the AI much simpler. So the virtuous cycle, like I said, is that good developer tools, and if you're already a programmer, you have this advantage over anyone that's doing the sort of like vibe coding, because you already know what makes a good developer environment, what makes a good feedback cycle. So like you already know, okay, I need to have these tools to see if the system is working, not necessarily just in terms of testing, but just the small parts of the system. Or even tools to like build part of the system. So you already have that advantage. So a good developer tools, if you start with that, then it leads to better AI effectiveness, and also you can use those tools themselves to build faster tools, and then better developer tools leads to like this cycle continuing. So the key takeaway is that you should invest in tooling to unlock the AI's full potential. And the key takeaway is really this one, is that you should not only jump right into building things with AI. I mean, you can and you should, just to like get a feel for it. But once you start like building things, you'll see that you'll run into a lot of problems that are sort of frustrating, but they don't have to be. The reality is that we're engineers, and we can build things to like help us improve our workflows. And that's where the aha moment comes here, is that instead of you like stumbling upon the same problem with AI over and over again, you can just build tools to help you with that. And I'm going to show you here an example. So I was working on a website for a client, and I'm using Next.js to build that, and Tailwind CSS. And one of the things that I realized is that AI would sometimes include classes. So I asked it to like refactor an entire project, change the classes inside the CSS file for Tailwind CSS version 4. And then I realized that it sometimes was adding classes that don't exist. There are not valid classes. So I thought to myself, okay, I can ask the AI to like compare like the classes. Okay, so please look at the CSS file and see what classes are actually valid or not. This would take a long time, and it would be also error prone because the AI can make mistakes when it comes to these like small details. So I thought, why not build a tool to be able to see which classes inside this project are not Tailwind CSS classes, are not valid, and so the AI can simply call an MCP server, even a CLI. I'm going to go with the MCP server in this case, and then pass like the project path and just return something that says, okay, inside of this project we have these classes that are not valid, and we can also tell the AI, okay, these ones you can ignore because they are something like more global, something that is not necessarily related to the components that we are building, but you should look at these results and see which ones are invalid, and you should fix them um, based on that result. So my process was the following. First of all, I thought, okay, I'm going to go to the internet and search if there is like a already built-in solution or an existing solution. And I saw there is a ESLint plugin that allows us to enable like a functionality to let us know which classes are not Tailwind CSS classes. But unfortunately, that plugin was is still not migrated to the version 4. So usually this would be a very complex project for me to tackle, and I would take maybe, I would say, a couple of days, maybe even a week. To be able to do this, I would need to like jump into the code, check exactly how Tailwind CSS does things, because I would basically need to be able to like extract like the parts of the code from Tailwind CSS, like import things, and then be able to like use essentially their functions, their utilities, all those things to extract all of the classes from a file, and then know which classes are going to be applied and sent through the pipeline for the final generation of the CSS file that Tailwind CSS does. So this would be a lot of work, and instead I decided to ask the AI to do this, and it worked perfectly. I'm still on the final stages of building the MCP server, but I'm going to show you here how this is looking. So like you can see here, we have this node. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to open here the AI stuff. So if I navigate here, so I simply cloned the Tailwind CSS repo, and then I ask the AI to navigate the entire code base and look for the things that are essentially authorizing or like validating or invalidating the classes. So there's uh, almost for sure, I thought to myself, there must be a part of this code base that looks at the existing classes that they have like on in memory or something like that, and then it says, okay, these classes are Tailwind CSS classes that are valid, and these ones are not, so we don't want to like push them to the final result or push them through the pipeline. So then I came up with this result. So now if I paste this here, it is going to look through this entire like example source, and also use this example.css file. So if I take a look here at the example.css file, you can see that this is a normal Tailwind CSS that imports here the things. Then we have the custom theme modifications with like custom color brands. And if the AI were to use this, and I'm saying this here specifically in the project that I'm building in the website, I cannot really show you because it is for a client, so I don't want to show anything. But if these things were like included then in the class names themselves, like in the class attribute incorrectly, we would be able to know by running this and then returning this thing here. And I think also we've implemented recently a JSON way of returning this. So now we can return here by file. So we have this file, we have the candidates, we have the valid classes and the invalid classes. So as you can see, this is valid, all of these like rounded, hover, like the padding, all these things, and this is invalid button class. And I spent, I would say, like maybe 1 hour like checking what the AI was doing in total, and yeah, I mean, like it took, I'm not really sure how many like time it took in total to work on this. But as you can see here, I like gave it some instructions. I said, okay, this is not working, this is working. Can you change this part of it? So here I ask for the JSON. Now I need to update the context aware. Okay, so this is its message. So I need to like go up here and see the changes that it did and see exactly what the prompts are, if I can find them. Okay, so okay, so this is all working. Yeah, so as you can see, we have here a lot of stuff. I'm not going to continue like looking for this because I'm not really like able to find any things when it comes to my message that I sent it. But yeah, basically that was it. I first of all went through the process of asking it to scan the project, and then basically like say, okay, I want to now build a simple script with Node.js that allows us to like actually use this. Then I saw that there was a piece of it that was actually doing like false positives. It let me know that okay, we have here like classes and some keywords. I asked it to exclude it. It just built like a very nice filter that excludes those things. Because if we take a look here at the code base really quickly, so if we search here, think for something like mod, it was the scanner or the extractor, I think the extractor. And if we take a look here, so this kind of thing is going to also extract this class. So this class is like a false positive. It's something that we want to like exclude basically. And like I said, I'm not really letting the AI do everything. But since the uh, scope of this is so narrow, I only need to give it like a few hints to what's happening here. I maybe looked at this the file for, I would say, like 5 minutes. And I sort of also understood what's happening here. So I know that the AI is doing the right thing. But this took me a really short time to build. And now I can include this or integrate this with my project. I can use this CLI at build time to ensure that all of the Tailwind CSS classes are valid. I can also use the MCP server to give it like a way to scan these classes. And yeah, like this process is just amazing when it comes to the tooling. And this idea is just fascinating for me. The idea that, okay, as a developer, as a programmer, web developer, whatever you're doing, the fact that you already know how to structure these tools and when a tool would come in really handy and what kind of tool you need, it makes it really easy to then just use AI and even maybe modify code bases. So I could also tell it, okay, so I want you to modify the Tailwind like Rust files to maybe add some kind of like custom functionality, to maybe even exclude right away those classes for certain scenarios. So yeah, this is really cool, and I hope this video was helpful to you. And I'm also going to leave a link in the description down below. I haven't set up, to be totally honest, the landing page yet, but I'm going to launch a community where I want to like um, do live calls with people that join, where I want to show like weekly or even probably many times a week, where I show you the projects that I'm building. Maybe I go in depth into these things, and I also want to like bring in students to show other people that are watching their projects and help them with those projects live. When it comes to building with AI, building with coding AI agents, because yeah, this, as you can see, these tools are very powerful, but we need to know exactly how to use them and how to appropriately take advantage of them to build actually good system and build good code bases. So with all of this being said, when I release the landing page, when I finish that, when I get the time to do that, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below, and then you can join there, which for now is going to be free. So I hope you enjoyed this video, it was helpful to you, and I'll see you on the next one.